What's up, YouTube? It's JackalGoldKick. So this is going to be a pretty serious video I'm going to make, and I feel like it's about time I talked about this because it's something not only from my past, but there was some recent stuff with it, to be fair, that it's not something, looking back, that I'm proud of, and it's something that I denounce myself from for sure now, and it's not something I want to be a part of anymore. Um, Hopefully I'm wording it the right way. I'm going to be talking about race, aka racism. Going to be talking about homophobia as well, and transphobic stuff. We're going to talk about all three of these topics because I feel like I want to be honest with the viewers, and I feel like I need to make a video about this certain thing because um, I haven't really made like a proper video really going over bad behavior of mine from the past where I was racist, and I want to explain why that was, and to own up to it basically. Because it's not something, looking back, that I am proud of. So let me talk about the racism thing first. So, in general, more than once, more than one black person I have used the N word towards. With Little Loco, Young Droopy the Don, Lord Jamar, whether I was doing trolling stuff or not, or I was beefing with Kadeem the King, I have used the N word, both the GA and the ER version, to plenty of black people. And at the time, just thought nothing of it. Didn't really, think the word was bad. I didn't, I didn't have the view that I have now with that word. Um, you know, so I've used it in the past more than once on multiple occasions. I don't use the word anymore, and I don't refer to black people with that word anymore. But there was a recent thing that I had that I don't want to be a part of anymore, that I also will talk about soon, which is that when I was beefing with Kadeem the King, I had mentioned something about how, black people have the victim mentality, but it's like, that just seems racist because it's like, you know, um, people that are, other races or nationalities, if they're talking about something legitimate that is affecting their race, or they're going through something that is race related, why am I not referring to them as victim mentality? Why am I referring to black people as victim mentality? So that's another thing I did that wasn't right. And, that's why I wanted to make a video about this, because I need to talk about it. It can't just be something just, I feel like I need to address it in a video, which is why I'm doing this now. So the reason behind that, of my racist behavior in the past, when I said the N word multiple times towards various black people, and then the victim mentality. I'll start with the N word. That's I had people around me growing up that used the N word around me. Thus, I used the N word myself, and because they used it, I used it myself, and I didn't really have that view of it that most people have, or a lot of black people have, where they don't really care for that word and the history behind it. And I didn't have that view basically. So to sum up why I used the N word in the past was because basically, like I said, I was growing up around people and they used the N word around me. So I saw it as I thought it was okay to use, and it was used around me. And then with the you know the black victim mentality, I think that also comes from the same thing. I was around people that had certain views and certain mindsets on black people, and certain ideologies they had, whether it was using the N-word, or um, you know like talking about some of the stuff going on in the world with black people. It kind of shaped, sort of, like it rubbed off on me, had an effect on me, whether it was me using the N word, whether it was me referring to black people as victim mentalities. But these days, I haven't used the N word in a very long time, and I'll never use it again. But I also want to not be a part of the, talking about the black victim mentality. Basically, you know, what I'm basically trying to say is, like, distance myself and not adopt those mindsets anymore. Is what I want to do, because it's not right to be that way. I don't want to, I look back on my history of using the N word and the black victim mentality, and that stuff wasn't right. We could even stretch that to another video. I'll probably make it'll be a follow up to this. Not necessarily the exact same thing, but with the woke mentality, where I would talk about how, race swapping. But then I like Walking Tall with The Rock, and that was race swapping. So I don't know if that's exactly the same thing, but basically what I'm trying to say is that's the real reason behind, if you've seen the stuff in the past with me, using the N word or like the victim mentality thing. It's because, to sum it up, I was around and grew up around people that had certain views and ideologies on black people and, certain things going on in the world, as well as people around me using that word. Thus, that kind of molded what my mindset was about things and made me use that word. And, you know, I imagine that's probably the same thing for a lot of people, a lot of ideologies, with religion, or if somebody happens to hate gay people, or, in general, that kind of stuff is like around you. It's not something you're born with or something you're not born to think these things or say these things. So that's the real truth and reason behind all of that. And I don't want to, I don't want to be like that anymore. Now, I think I've done a good job on not using the N word anymore, but the victim mentality thing was recently. I can't say that was in the past. It was recently, with the, Kadeem thing. So I want to distance myself and not be like that anymore, because that's not good to be. I shouldn't be a racist person. I shouldn't have that view towards black people. I shouldn't think that and want to, be like that, because it's not a good way to be. So despite that, and despite the reason I gave for the truth behind that, I'm gonna not allow myself to become that or go back to that. Like, moving forward, I don't want to be that way. Like I said, I've done a good job, I feel like, not using the N word anymore, but the victim mentality was recently. So I want to apologize 100% for all that stuff, for the N word usage, the black victim mentality, all that stuff. I want to apologize for all of it. It was wrong. It was not right. And it's something I never should have done, should have said, should have partaked in. And the only thing I can do is now be against that stuff and not be like that anymore and apologize for it. And I just hope people can forgive me, and I hope people can get where I'm coming from on that. What I did was not right. I'm owning up to it, and I'm apologizing for all of it. And, that's why I wanted to make this video and talk about that certain thing. So, yeah, I'm sorry for the N word usage in general, and also for the black victim mentality and just being in that stasis, or however you want to call it, due to, being around that stuff. So I just hope people get where I'm coming from, and I apologize for that. And I want to basically wipe my hands with that, and I don't want to be like that anymore. I don't want to, be a part of that anymore. Now, with that being said, um, you know, I still do think that, in my opinion, I don't think anybody should use the N word, because I know that, I'm not a black person myself, and I know black people say it's a term of endearment, but I feel like nobody, including like black people, I feel like they shouldn't use the N word, because it's a bad word from a bad time, and it's got bad history behind it. And I feel like, even, you know, if they use it on themselves as a term of endearment, I feel like that's still giving that word power. It's keeping that around. I mean, you don't see, like, for example, with gay people, you don't see them reformat the word, faggot, as a term of endearment. And that's what I say about the N word. I know it could be a very divisive topic, you know, and stuff like that. I get it. Maybe somebody can give me their view and opinion on that, but I just don't think anybody should use it because of its history. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say about the race and the racist side of things. I own up to it, and yeah, that explanation I gave is why I had that stuff and why I did that. and basically want to apologize for it. And I'll never partake in that. I'm not going to be like that at all anymore. And, you know, it was racist behavior, and it was me with a certain mindset. And it's like, it was racism. That's what it was. It was racism. And I don't want to be like that anymore. I don't want to be a part of that anymore. So I denounce it. Not going to be that racist kind of person anymore, because all of that stuff was racism, and it was me being racist towards black people. So, yeah, I wanted to talk about that. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is I did have a history. Like, I never really, I don't know if I really ever came out on YouTube and talked about this, but I definitely had my views and opinions. In looking back, it was transphobic. Basically, what I mean is, like, with a transgender, there are people that get a sex change, a guy that, changes into a woman, or a woman that changes into a guy for the most part. And with that particular thing, I feel like I have been transphobic in the past with that stuff. I would say, I don't get why they do that. It's weird, and there's only two genders, and things like that. And honestly, who cares if people want to get a sex change? It's their life. They should be able to do what they want with it, and they just want to change their gender. So that's something else I take back, and something that I'm not going to be like anymore. And I apologize for that. I don't think I ever went public on YouTube about those views, but I definitely don't want to be a transphobic person anymore. It's not something I want to do. I'd rather look at people as people and not judge them, or, put down people that want to have a sex change, because people should be able to do what they want. So that's something else that I'm going to admit to, and something that I don't want to be a part of anymore. And it's something I do apologize for, because at the end of the day, who really cares? Let people do what they want with their life. And, you know, it's just stupid for me to have that view and to be that way. So that's something else I'm taking it back and apologizing for. And then the third thing I want to mention, this isn't as deep. I feel like it isn't as bad as the first two. The racism one's definitely the worst. But the homophobia thing, kind of like when Last of Us 2 was coming out, I was basically saying, oh, they're pushing the LGBTQ agenda, but it's like, what the hell does that even mean? You know, it's like, that's when I was also a part of that woke mentality, which I'm going to make another video after this about the woke mentality. But it's like, what the hell am I talking about? Gay people exist. What does that even mean? That just sounds like bigotry. That just sounds like homophobia when I really break it down, because it's like, well, I didn't say that for Fear the Walking Dead with Strand, or when they had a character that was gay in The Walking Dead, but I'm saying it for Last of Us 2, saying they're pushing an LGBTQ agenda. But when it's straight people, I don't say it's a straight agenda. You know what I mean? So I want to also apologize for that, and take myself away from that, and not be that way anymore. Like I said, it's not as bad as that the racism thing I said is the worst one, but it wasn't to the point where I was making rant videos, or like, you know, but well, okay, I'm just gonna say it is bad. My apologies, but because I did use the FAGGOT word, I have used that word a lot, multiple times, um, and not only the N word, but the FAGGOT. That's another word I don't use anymore. I don't use the N word anymore, and I don't use the FAGGOT word anymore. Those words don't exist in my vocabulary anymore. I don't like using them because of what they mean. The N word was used towards black people to bring them down as part of bad time in history of stuff that's still going on, and it was used to bring down black people, and it's a bad word. And then the FAGGOT word was used to bring down gay people and bash them. It's a slur against them. Um, that's what it really is. So I don't use that word anymore in my vocabulary, even though, yes, I did use it in videos, now that I think about it. Sorry if this ain't perfect, and if I'm not pronouncing things the best, I'm, trying to make everything cohesive as I can with this video, because I want to own up to bad things and become a better person, because I really, I wanted to make this video, because I have used that word in a lot of my videos. Now, and maybe it could be the same thing where that word was used around me and I heard it used around me and didn't have the view that it bashed gay people. It could definitely fall into the same camp as the N word. I can't quite, like, I'm trying to think, but maybe the FAGGOT slur and me using it in plenty of videos and indulging in that word, maybe it came for the same reason of the N word usage. I don't know, but I'm gonna just say it did because I think that makes sense, and I think that man, I'm not making any sense of what I'm saying right now, but basically, that's most likely where it comes from. Um, you know, for the most part. Um, let's see. So yeah, I have used that word. I even used it in a recent video, I think from last year, where I was talking about, uh, ranting on YouTube's. It was something to do with YouTube, and it's like it's a slur against, gay people, and I'm using it. Um, I shouldn't be using it at all. So, you know, I mean, that's not even true with the F slur because I said I dropped that word from vocabulary, but I literally used it in a recent video. So that's a that's a mess up right there. I catch myself in that stuff. So with the FAGGOT word, I'm not going to use that word anymore because of the history of it and because of who it's directed towards. It's not a good word. It carries the same negative thing as the N word does. So, yeah, I have used that word and I don't want to use it anymore. I don't want to be a homophobic person. I don't want to be somebody that has an issue with people because they're gay. Um, or says this is LGBTQ agenda or the gay agenda. That's all bullshit because if it's straight people, it's not an agenda. If it's pushing religion in people's faces, it's not a religious agenda. It's just, at the end of the day, with that woke stuff, I'm talking about this in another video, some people that say it's a LGBTQ agenda or certain things, the reason they say that is because they don't really like those kind of people or agree with that stuff, and they don't want it in their entertainment. They would prefer to see their mindsets expressed, if you think about it. Um, so yeah, and then to add some more to the race thing, I'm trying to remember what I was going to say about the race thing. I'm trying to remember. So I talked about the race thing. Um, I talked about the race thing. I'm trying to see what else. Was there any other races that existed with? Nah, I don't think so. It's just a black people thing. So yeah, I'm I don't know. It's like I remembered something I said earlier, but now it's just slipping my mind. Fuck. Damn. But yeah, it's like, with race, it makes no sense to be racist. It's stupid, because everybody is the exact same. We're all human beings. We all have hearts. We all have bones. We all have tears we can cry, blood that comes out. We're all the exact same. It's the same thing with the animal kingdom. Now, the truth of the race thing is that race was something that was created in the 1400s. So Easy talked about this to divide people. Um, but at the end of the day, it is a stupid thing, and it is stupid to be racist. Um, that's something I don't want to be a part of anymore. So I'm discounting that, discounting the transphobic thing, and discounting the gay people thing. Basically, all of this stuff, I want to apologize for all of it, and I want to not be a part of it anymore because it's all stupid, wrong, and bad. And it's just not something I want to be a part of. So I apologize for all of it. And all I can really do is try to become a better person and not be involved with that stuff anymore, be against it, and basically just be a better person and, have a good redemption arc, basically. So that's why I wanted to make this video. I wanted to talk about those things. Um, you know, it's not good things I did, that's for sure. Now, I won't really get into that because it's not about. I was going to talk about like hypocrisy and other things, but it's not really about that. The video's about things I did, things wrongs I want to right, basically. But there's not really much else I can think of in this video. But yeah, I would say with the transphobic thing and the homophobic thing, it was definitely the same thing as the N word, and that stuff, the racist thing, basically, you know, people around me, certain people's ideologies and views around me, and what they thought. rubbing off on you and you have those ideologies. But I've gotten to a point, and I want to get to a point now where I want to, you know, not be a part of that or not make myself like that, basically. But the thing is, let's say you know somebody or there's someone around you that have these mindsets or think certain things. Some people you can't change their mindset or change their viewpoint. You could tell them your new perspective. You could, um, you know, have a debate with them and stuff like that. But some people's view and mindset you can't change. That's the reality of it. Um, so I guess that's something I wanted to say extra. But yeah, other than that, that's all I got to say in this video. Um, yeah, felt good to do this video, and I just hope people get where I'm coming from. You know, yeah, that's it. And yeah, all this stuff is bad. And it's just when I really think about it, it's like, you know what, black people and all types of race people are just people. There's good and there's bad people. And then with the transphobic thing, it's like, well, people just want to get sex change, big deal, you know. And so I guess some more stuff that stems from that is like me having an issue with BLM, or not BLM, BLH, the Black History Month thing. It's like, why should I have an issue with that? That don't even make sense. That stems from the racist thing I was talking about, or like the Gay Pride Month. Why should I have an issue with that? These people were oppressed for their sexuality, and why they got a month. Same thing with Black History Month. Oppressed people got these months because of what happened to them. At least that's my assumption. Um, and yeah, there's not much else I can think of to say in this video, but yeah, I tried to make this video. Peace out.